What is it? Yo, people. We live. Joe Black, I see ya. Raymond, I see you, my bro. Lawal, I see you. Hey, Rob, be off, man. I'm waiting for Jack to come in now. Theo, I see you, my bro. Theo. Nado, yeah. Nado, I needed it. Yo, Sancho, the trim was needed. I was looking too rough on the thing. I was looking way too rough. Hold on. Deborah Lowett. What, Deborah, what? You saying what? The trim nice, yeah? We move. Yo, Jack.
Hello, mate.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. No,
You
I
can't
can.
see me?
I can now, I can.
What are you saying? How are you?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
I'm good. You know me, just trying to keep myself sane through this quarantine period. Yourself, how's the kids and how's the missus? How's everyone? How's the family?
Yeah, they're alright, mate. It's tough, man. I got four.
Yeah.
So, two of them are doing the homeschooling,
Yeah.
and then we've got like a toddler who's crazy, mate. She's mad. And a newborn. So it's tough, mate. But at the same time, we don't have like that time to get bored. You know what I mean? Like we're always doing something.
Yeah, nah,
So
I hear
it
you.
helps keep you sane.
So
How are you?
how's
Are you quarantine on your own?
nah, I was with my little boy, but his mum come to pick him up, and now
How
I'm
old's
going
your
to
little
pick him
boy?
up. He's 9, so he's a big boy now, so he's alright.
So
He's
he's doing the
alright.
homeschooling as well.
Yeah, he's doing that. The tutor comes on Wednesdays and Fridays, so it's difficult. But like you said, like it's good, like because you get to spend more time with them. Like you said, you're always in
Yeah,
training and stuff like that. But it's good to have the family around. How
yeah,
you
it's
been
true. Like
keeping
some,
fit?
I've been going to the park, mate. Literally,
Yeah,
my local park, doing a bit of running. Yeah, I had surgery in like, when was that? January, end of January,
yeah,
and I started coming back training with the team. And to be honest, mate, I felt miles off it.
yeah,
Like, mate, when you probably know what it's like when you're injured and you try
yeah,
and come back, it takes ages. Like, it takes a few games. So, no, I needed this time, like, just to concentrate on like running, like fitness,
yeah.
pure fitness.
So how's
Mm.
that been going? You feeling fit now? You getting back to full fitness kind of?
You know
Obviously, it's
what, mate?
different from games running on your own.
Yeah, you know what? Running like is different to the football fitness, but in terms of like running and distances, like as a footballer, you never really get that opportunity just to go out and run. Do you know what I mean? You're always
Yeah,
like
of course.
always getting ready for a game or something. So in terms of like my general fitness, I feel good. But mate, when you come back and you start doing like little five-a-sides and stuff like that, man, it's tough, man.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Like obviously because of this social distancing, I can't even play five-balls with the guys. So just I've been
Yeah,
chilling
mate. To be
at
honest with you,
home.
I could do with like playing five with my mates, but we can't, man. Long.
So moving forward, Jack. I read something the other day that you was at. Just talk to us about a bit of your background and where you come from. Because I read something you was at Luton when you was a kid, when you was a
Mm.
youngin.
Yeah, so I grew up in Hitchin in Hertfordshire.
Yeah,
Played for a few local teams around there. and then I joined Luton when I was about 8.
Yeah,
Spent a year there, which was brilliant. You know, it was like 15, 20 minutes away from where I was living, so it was easy.
yeah,
And then Arsenal came in, and I had a big decision to make because it sounds mad like Luton or Arsenal, but it wasn't that simple. You know, I was playing at Luton with my friends, people
yeah,
that I went to school with. It was close, but the commitment and sacrifice from that I knew my parents had to make.
yeah.
You know, we used to have to drive up to London 3 times a week, and that would take an hour. My dad would have to finish work early, so it was a big decision. But obviously, I made the decision to join Arsenal and just went from there. What
How was
about you?
it?
You played football, no? You played for
Yeah, I played.
England.
Yeah, I played football. I started actually. I was playing Sunday League until about 14. That's when I went to Colchester, and
Yeah.
I done my like obviously I was there from when I was 14. Then I got my scholar for 2 years. Then from there I got my pro, and yeah, that's when we was in a champ and started playing football.
So what happened? How come you decided to do the music?
You know what? It was a situation where like I ain't stopped playing football. I'm at Barnet still. I'm at Barnet now, but it's just music was like a hobby. I didn't know that it was gonna take off like the way it did, Jack. You know, like that. And when
Yeah.
it took off, and I just thought, you know what? Why not just do both? Like just do
Yeah,
both.
just go with it.
Yeah. So I just went with the flow.
So what's happening with Barnet at the minute? There are some problems, huh?
Yeah, there was some obviously a lot of us, even the staff and that, got told to put on, the furlough situation, what's been going on, and
Yeah.
a couple people have been sacked. But other than that, I think that our season's cancelled now. Anyway, I think our season's cancelled. The setup for that,
Is it done?
yeah, it's done. So it's just a tough one at the moment. We're just waiting. We're trying to keep fit, but obviously, I don't
Yeah.
know.
How you keeping fit?
Me just running. I've been doing. Have you heard of that Strava thing?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I've been just doing that. I've been doing the 6K, 5K runs. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm way off it. I'm getting like 25 and that. I heard
Oh
some
mate, I can't even do it. Like I see people like Ross Barkley doing it in something like
16,
17 minutes,
16
16 minutes.
minutes.
Like,
I couldn't believe it.
no, it's mad. I can't get anywhere near that, mate.
Yeah, it's mad. So when from Arsenal, like how was it from like obviously you came through the ranks at Arsenal. How was it like through the youth teams and like that? What was it like?
Mate, you know what? Like, I was so lucky to be at a club like that because, mate, we had everything. Do you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
had great facilities. Like, towards the end of my time at Hale End, which is where the youth train, like, they started bringing in gym programs, nutrition advice,
yeah,
and like, you could really tell they were trying to up the game. Now, mate, if you go there now, it's unreal. The kids have it so good. But
yeah,
I think sometimes that can be the problem. You know, like all these kids, they get everything so young. They haven't got to do anything. Like it's all done for them, and they sort of get lost in it because you know, mate, you know what football's like. It's not like
yeah,
that. Like even I found that out when I went out on loan to Bolton, which it was a Premier League club, a good club, but it wasn't like Arsenal. It didn't
yeah,
have all the facilities Arsenal has or the coaches, and that's the way football is. And I had it really, really good, man.
yeah.
Like I can't complain. I enjoyed it. I loved it. We used to get to go on tournaments like abroad, play against top teams, Juventus, Barcelona. And yeah, it was good, man. I look back now and think that was the best time of my life.
I remember when who was it? I think at the time Gavin Hyatt was in my age group because I played with Gavin
Mm.
in England, and he was telling me, yeah, there's a young boy that's coming up, and I think he showed me clips. I think he scored a goal. I don't know. I think it was Barnet's old stadium. I don't know. I can't
Yeah,
remember
yeah, I remember.
when. Yeah, I think it was. He put it in a stanchion that it said this kid.
Yeah, I remember that game. I was playing. Gavin played that game.
Yeah,
Gavin was good as well. What's Gavin doing now?
I don't know. I was speaking to his brother the other day. I don't know. I don't know what team is that. I forgot because Justin was telling me, but I can't. I can't remember.
Where has Justin finished?
Justin's in. No, he's playing. He's in Miami.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's in Miami. So yeah, he's in
What,
Miami.
Bex's team?
No, not Bex's team. There's another one. There's another one.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
So yeah, he's in Miami, and he's just telling me the lifestyle over there is great. He said, just saying if I want to, why not? And I just one of them ones. I'm just thinking about it now.
You know what? I love Justin, man. He
Mm.
was when I first came into the team. I remember it was the Emirates Cup. I was
Yeah,
only like 16. He was brilliant. Like, I was like a little boy, mate, playing with like Van Persie, Fabregas,
yeah,
and I always remember like Justin taking time out to like come sit with me, eat the pre-match with me. It was brilliant.
yeah. No, that's you need them kind of pros around because sometimes when I was coming through, like a lot of players, like even though there wasn't in a prem, but for me, a lot of players was big time, and I was thinking, in my head, I was young, but I was thinking like, what have these lot actually done
Mm.
for these lot to be big time? But but then
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why, like
go,
when
go,
you're at a club like Arsenal, a lot of
yeah,
people have that perception of Arsenal young players, don't they? Like,
yeah,
and some of it's true, mate, because they get everything. You know, they get like night deals when they're like 15,
yeah.
Adidas, everything given to them, and like they haven't really like got to go out and fight for it. Do you know what I mean?
What was that? What was that feeling like? Obviously, I can't remember. Did you make your debut in the prem before you went out on loan to Bolton, or you went on loan
No.
to Bolton first?
Oh no, no, I did, yeah. So I made my debut Blackburn away when I was 16,
Yeah,
um, and then I didn't really have a sniff until around that time. I used to play in like the Carling Cup,
yeah,
in the FA Cup now and then, but I was just so desperate to play, so I asked the gaffer if I could go out on loan,
yeah.
and he was like, "Yeah, cool." Played about 16, 17 games, and it was brilliant, man. I grew up so much.
Yeah.
I was playing, with men. Do you know what I mean? Like
Mm.
as good as back then, there weren't the under 23s. It was the reserves, and the reserves was a decent level. It was generally for the first team players who weren't playing, but still, you can't get that same level of intensity that you can get in the Prem, and Bolton gave me that.
That's no, that's cool. That's cool. Like as you growing up, obviously you was getting praises from the media and that. You coming into the first team as a young kid, and like you said, you're training alongside Van Persie, Fabregas, Song. Like, how was that for you? Like when you first come into the you know scene and that.
Yeah. Um, well, the way it happened was like, first of all, it was in pre-season, and pre-season was basically the first couple of weeks was just pure running,
Yeah,
and like the players who had been on international, I think it was the 2010, what was that, the World Cup? Yes, and the
yeah,
players at the World Cup, they weren't there, so there was only a certain amount of players, and young players would come over just to make the numbers up, basically.
yeah,
So I remember I was nervous, but then like there was loads of us, so
yeah,
Gavin would have been there. There was loads of players that were there, and just got on with it. And then we played against Barnet. We used to play Barnet at Underhill every year,
yeah,
and played half, done all right. And then on the Monday, the first team players were coming back, like the Fabregas, Van Persie, all them players who've been at the World Cup. And I got a text on the Sunday saying, "Oh, bring your passports tomorrow. You're going away with the first team." Oh, mate, I was so nervous. Like, I was like, no lie, I was with Fabregas, and especially Fabregas, I was like
yeah,
starstruck by him
yeah.
because I'd watched him, you know what I mean? Like when I was in the academy and he got into the first team, I'd watched him play week in, week out. So he was like one of my heroes, and
Mm.
all of a sudden I was training with him, and I was like, I wouldn't say a word to him, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It gets like that, chat. So
Yeah.
when you went away and you started training, like obviously from a youngster, you knew you was good enough. But when you started training like week in, week out, is that when you started to think like I got a chance here, kind of thing?
Yeah. It's not, wait, let me take these off because it's like echoing. Wait there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go on. No, I can't hear. Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Go on. Yeah,
That's better.
yeah,
Yeah, it was like, so I did that pre-season and got into like a few squads because
yeah,
we had loads of injuries, and then I made my debut against Blackburn, and then I was around the squad, didn't really play, but trained with them every day. And that year, like I grew up a lot. I mean, came back the next pre-season, and I felt like, right, this is it. I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
And the same thing happened again. Like, played a few Carling Cup games, got in a few squads, but nothing was happening. Like, and because the thing is, with me, I always thought I just want my opportunity in the ten because I backed myself. Do you know what I mean? I felt like
Yeah.
if I got my opportunity, I'd do well, and he couldn't leave me out. But I never really got that, so that's when I went to Bolton. But when I got back from Bolton, I was different. I was a different man. I was a different player. I went from living with my mum and dad, them doing everything for me, to moving up to Manchester on my own. I grew up off the pitch, on the pitch. I learned so much. You know, I was still in the stage of development, and I learned almost that it didn't at Prem level. It didn't really matter
Yeah.
how you played. It's all about winning, and that stuck with me from Bolton.
No, that's sick. Talk to us. Talk to us. Obviously, you was playing now. You started playing. Talk to us about that game, the crazy game at Arsenal against Barcelona when you stole the show.
Oh mate, that was a mad night. Like, that season was my first season when I was playing every week, and
Yeah.
I was doing well. Like, people were starting to talk. I got in the England squad. I played. I made my England debut, and we qualified out the group in like December time, and then the next round gets drawn, and we get drawn against Barca, and like, I think a few seasons before we had played Barca, but I think I was at Bolton at that point,
Yeah.
and they got battered. So the lads were almost like, no, not again. And I remember not even really thinking about it until that week came around, and then I remember like in the tunnel, the build up to the game was massive, and I remember in the tunnel like standing next to like Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, right, and I was just thinking, fuck, like this could go one of two ways. Like, either I'm gonna get humiliated out here, like which they done, and I wasn't just like putting myself down. I'd seen them do that to the best. You know what I mean? I've seen them play people off the park, and the first half, you know, people like kind of forget. Like, I had a good game, but the first half, like, mate, they were passing us to death. Like, they were making these small little passes, and I was thinking, there ain't no way we're getting the ball back off these. And they could have been 3-0 up at half time. We had a few opportunities, but they just dominated. And I remember going in at half time, and I think it was Cesc saying, look, like, this ain't like it was the previous years. We got a chance here. And we went out second half, and we blew them away. Like, we should have won by more. And that was a night as well. I remember it was Nasri. He said to me, he was like Nasri was the type who would never give compliments. You know what I mean? Like, he would never say, you play well.
Yeah.
And he said to me that you've gone up a level tonight. Like, that's your new level. You need to keep at that level, and you'll go places. And like, I remember we lost the second leg, which like took the icing off it a little bit. But I look back, and that was a special night.
No, there was a special night. Like, obviously we see it on TV and that. Like, obviously you touched upon it. Like, was the passing that crazy? Like, seriously, is it crazy? Barcelona's passing.
Yeah, like they'd make it's hard to explain, but they'd like the three of them in midfield. So they had Busquets holding, and then Xavi and Iniesta sort of next to them. Sometimes they would like go like 5 meters from each other and just pass the ball, and you didn't know whether to press or just to hold off, because you knew that Messi was sort of floating behind you. Like, and it would just like make your legs. It'd be like doing doggy. Just all game, just doing doggy.
Was Messi sharp?
Yeah, he was sharp. Like, he was like, he didn't really get involved like in the build up. Like, you know, now sometimes he drops deep and like, he pings off these passes that no one else can see. But I remember that game, like, you wouldn't really. Like, you always had him in the back of your head because you're thinking, I think it's the ball, but like, he wouldn't move that much. But as soon as he got the ball, like, it would spark into life. Like, and he wasn't even. I mean, he was sharp, don't get me wrong, but he put his body in position where you couldn't get the ball without fouling him.
Yeah.
And even if you tried to foul him, he had that like mad strength where he just like bounced off you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy. After that, obviously, you played well on that. It was getting a lot of praises. How did it feel to get praises from like the Xavis and Iniesta? That must have been like a huge confidence boost for you as well. Like obviously, like you said,
Mm.
from them kind of players.
Yeah, I remember after that game, like we obviously had the second leg, and like the build up to the second leg, they were asking like Pep about me and if he'd ever fancy me at Barcelona, and I always remember he said, yeah, you know what, Jack Wilshere is he's a good player, but um, but I've got loads of them in my B team. He killed me. And I remember thinking, "God, has he? Like I remember thinking, looking online and seeing their B team, thinking, yeah, you must have some players in there. But
Mm.
now it wasn't till later when Xavi's like spoke about me and and said the things he did, which was like, mate, it was like unbelievable. Again, it was one that I watched growing up, and even when I made it, like when I made it into the first team, I
Yeah.
was still watching him trying to emulate the things he did. Do you know what I mean? Like looking at his game, looking at his pass completion, and thinking like, this guy don't give the ball away. How is that possible?
Mm. I was told as
Mm,
well. Just to touch up on it, I was told because one of my brother's friends, Shane Smith, he's friends with Lescott, and
mm.
he was saying like obviously they talk a lot. So he said there's like a chart thing that they used to have, I think, at City back in the days, and they said Silva didn't give the ball away in training for like about 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's
Like,
another one, man. He was horrible to play against.
when you think about that, like honestly, don't get me wrong, you're allowed to give away the ball, but when people say things like that, but you ain't giving the ball away for 3 weeks and that, like that's the levels, and that's what you take into like
Yeah,
players.
mate, that's mad to think that. Like, you know how it is. Sometimes, like you give the ball away, and you sometimes you think, oh no, that wasn't my fault. But like to not give it away and like to know where to play it so the other player
Yeah.
gets the ball. That's mad. It's crazy.
No, no, it's proper crazy. So after that, obviously, you started playing. Now you're a regular in the first team. What was your like thinking then? Like, do you wanna progress? Do you wanna get to the final or something? Because did you play in that FA Cup final or was you injured?
Yeah. So no, I played in my first season. We played in the Carling Cup back then,
Yeah,
the Carling Cup final, and we lost to Birmingham.
yeah.
Do you remember when Chesney dropped it in the last minute and they
Oh
scored?
yeah, who scored? Martins. No, was it Martins?
Yeah, Martins, mate. And
Martins.
I
Yeah,
swear to God, I was heartbroken. Like, because I remember that being my first season, I'm thinking, yeah, I've just come into the team. We're going to win a trophy. We're going to go on from this.
mm,
And even in the game, like they went 1-0 up, and we dominated them,
yeah,
like proper dominated them. And as the game went on, like it started to look like it was going into extra time. And I'm thinking, oh, if it goes into extra time, we've got these. We're fitter than these. We're going. And then that happened. And I was so convinced we were going to win it. Man. I was devastated. And then we didn't get around another final until 2014
yeah.
when we won the first FA Cup. And no, I was on the bench. I just came back from injury, and I remember we played Hull and we went 2-0 down. And
Yeah.
I'm on the bench thinking, oh my God, this is happening. It's happening again. And then Cazorla scored that free kick, and it got us back into it. And we went on to win, which was unreal.
Even players like Cazorla, what was he like in training, or how was he like?
Yeah, he was mad. He was one of the best as well. Like, mate, he was like bow footed,
Yeah.
and like when I say bow footed, I mean like he would like when we used to do set pieces, like he wouldn't have to change sides for an in swinger. You know what I mean? He'd just change feet and
Wow.
go, right, this is an out swinger. It was mad. Like and playing with him as well. Like he was so small and like he wasn't quick, he wasn't strong, but he just had like mad technique and the way he moved his body to get away from players, and that he was special.
What was Arson like? Obviously, when you became a regular, did you have like talks with him how to improve your game and like what not to do in games and stuff like that?
Yeah, when I first went over there, he was the type of manager who wouldn't say much. Like he'd call you over, he'd shake your hand, and then that was it. Like you train. But when I look back now, like there used to be loads of young players who went over there, and the ones who brought the level down technically,
Yeah.
like they wouldn't be seen again.
Mm.
Like they'd get someone else, and so you knew you was expected to just to fit in technically, and even take the level up, like
Yeah.
not give the ball away, because that was at the stage as well where we were known as keeping the ball. You know what I mean? We were trying to pass teams to death, and then our relationship it grew, man. Like we had a great relationship towards the end. He was so honest with me. I was honest with him, and it sounds mad because, and it sounds like a cliche, but he was almost like a father figure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like he trusted me. That's why as well. Like I remember when I came back from Bournemouth on loan, and I was injured. I broke my leg playing for Bournemouth. I came back and I had a year left on my deal,
Mm.
and I remember sitting down. He was in the gym like, with Arsenal, and him saying, "Look, Jack, yeah, they're not going to offer you a new deal. So if you get an offer, you can leave."
Mm.
And I was like, and I looked around looked at the midfield, and I knew that I had a manager that would play me. And I thought, you know what, if I get myself as fit as I can, play some games with the 23s,
Yeah.
I can get back into this team and I can get a new deal. And then they offered me a new deal, and obviously I didn't accept it in the end, and I moved on. But that just shows like how much trust he had in me and how much trust I had in him.
Mm. Nice. Well, talk to us. Obviously, you had your fair shares of injuries and that, which has been tough. Um, like how was it like going through them injuries? Like for you to come back fit. Like, what was the workload like? Was it hard? Was it tough? Like when you're in that dark place, how did you manage
Mm.
to come out of it?
Um, you know what? I think it all comes down to one thing, and that is your love for football.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? That keeps you going, them long hours in the gym when all the lads are going out training. And that's what keeps me going now. Like even when I pick up an injury now, and I think when that love goes, and you and I finally think, you know what? Like I'm not going to the gym. I'm not doing this rehab. Is the day that I call it a day. But you know, while I've still got that love, and I love that feeling of
Mm.
lining up in the tunnel, walking out in front of the fans, starting a game, being in a game where there's pressure. I love that feeling, and that's what keeps me going.
No, no, that's great, man. Like, talk to us about England, going away with England. What was that like for you, going away with England?
I remember my first trip was I was 18. I'd just come back from Bolton on loan, so I hadn't really played in the first team for Arsenal. I made my debut, but I hadn't been a regular. And it was after that 2010 World Cup when Germany like beat us 4-1. So everyone was like hammering England, saying like they need new young players, and then I got pulled up.
Mm.
Luckily, I had a Gibbo, Kieran Gibbs with me,
Yeah.
because I remember we met up on a Sunday and we were meeting up for dinner, and I'm walking into a room with like Stevie G, Lampard, JT, Rio, Rooney, Joe Cole. Like these are my heroes. You know what I mean? I watched it when I was growing up in '08 and the Euros in '06 World Cup. Like I watched them all, and I was just like a little kid. I was starstruck. I didn't speak, and one thing as well was Capello was a manager, and he had this rule where you couldn't leave the table until everyone had finished eating dinner.
Okay.
So I remember sitting there thinking, please hurry up, I need to get back to my room. Like, I can't, like,
Can't sit
I
there.
don't know what to say to these guys. I'm
Mm.
thinking, what am I doing here? With all these, and it was mad. It was a dream come true, and then I got on the pitch. And you know what, like, Capello, like, I've got him, I should thank him so much, because he was, like, he put so much faith in me. Like, he played me with Lampard and Gerrard, and
Mm.
over the years, everyone was saying, "Oh, Lampard and Gerrard can't play together." And then I went in and played with them. Oh, it was like I look back on that stage of my career, and I was like living every kid's dream. It was unreal.
Yeah. I remember you scoring. It was when you scored them two. 2 goals. I forgot it for England. I forgot.
Slovenia.
Yeah, and I think you just come back from injury then or not because you had a good, I think, good spell and you was playing well and
Yeah,
then
no,
Jack's back. And is that when you picked up another injury?
yeah. So that was after the 2014 World Cup when Lampard and Gerrard retired from international football, and we started playing the diamond. Remember, Roy Hodgson brought in the 4-4-2, but we played diamond in midfield. And I remember it was Gary Neville saying to me, "Look, we want you to play holding of the diamond," and I was like, "I've never played there in my life." Anyway, he was brilliant. Like he sat down, we watched videos, and then remember the first game we played with that new formation was against Switzerland away, and Switzerland were a decent team. And everyone was like, "Oh, England ain't the same," and we beat them. We beat them 2-0. We played well, and then we played a few more games like that when it was going well, it was going really well, and then I got injured, and I was just thinking like, I'm going to lose my place in that team. Like, there's some decent players who could play that role.
Yeah.
I missed about 3 months, I think. So I missed like January to March, April, and this was then I got back in the Arsenal team and played a few games, and this was at the end of the season. Like we had I think it was like June the 15th, and I got in the squad. And I remember we played against who did we play for? We played Ireland in a friendly, and I played well. And then the next game was a qualifier, and he put me back in that holding position, and it went well. I scored that. You know what? Like I look back at that as well. So I played that game, scored 2 goals. I was like buzzing. I was ready for the next season. Came back pre-season, done a decent pre-season, and then we were meant to play. I think it was Chelsea in the Community Shield, and the day before in training, I broke my leg, and and I had surgery probably a few days later, and it was just like, you know what? I finally got back. I had a few injuries. I got back, and I thought, you know what? Now I'm ready to push on. And I got injured again. That was one of the toughest ones to take mentally.
Yeah. No, I can imagine because you started doing well and then that happens. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was tough.
Like if you look back at obviously your career now, I know there's certain things you can't change like injuries and stuff. If you was to go back, what would you say? What would you do different, or would you just say like it is what it is? Or what would you change if you could go back?
A bit of both. It is what it is, and I would change a bit because, you know, a lot of people have said, like, when I've been injured, you're going to change your game because the way I play, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that quick, I'm not that strong. I like to get close to a player to beat a player.
Yeah.
So I don't think I could ever change that. That's just the way I am, and that's made me the player that I am. But, you know, some of my injuries as well have been me, like, going into tackles that were, like, 80-20 against me. And, like, just putting myself in silly positions where the only outcome really was that I was going to get injured. So maybe I have changed that now a little bit. I won't go into stupid tackles, but so I might have changed that. And if I could change one more thing, I don't know. Like when I first broke into the team, all I wanted to do was train and play, and like people were saying, "Oh, I like to slow down a little bit." I think that my first season I played something like 58 games, which was mad. So maybe I would have listened to a few people in that sense. But at the same time, I was living everyone's dream. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to play. We were pushing for the title that year. I just wanted to play. So, I mean, listen, things happen in football that you can't control. And a lot of my injuries have been like that. They've been impact injuries. So, it's not as if like I come back and I haven't done the rehab properly and I pull my hamstring or something. I've never had a muscle injury, so it's one of them things, I suppose, mate.
No, I hear you. Moving forward, now we at West Ham. How is it? How are you finding West Ham? What's it like at West Ham?
Listen, I grew up a West Ham fan, so it was my dream to play for them. You know. Obviously, it was my dream growing up at Arsenal to make it into that team. But another dream of mine was, you know, I used to go to Upton Park with my old man and my brother, and watch them. So to sign for them was a dream come true. And then, you know, when I first started, well, last season, the first few games didn't go to plan. We lost the first four, and then I got injured. So I was like, you know what, it hasn't worked out, but I've still got, still got the rest of this season and next season. So I need to. That's my short-term goal, is to change that. I want to play games for West Ham. I want to help West Ham. I want to play week in, week out. I want to get that feeling of playing again and being able to get to a level where I can influence again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all right coming back and coming on. I want to be fit. I want to start games and help the team.
Obviously, Jack, you're still on your football journey, and like, what's been like your greatest moments so far?
It's probably scoring 2 goals for my country.
Yeah.
I played a lot of games for England up to that point, and I had a few chances with scoring. And I always just wanted, even if it was just 1 goal, I wanted to score for my country, to be able to say that I've scored for England, to tell my kids. And the way it happened as well, like the first goal of that game was the one that I think it was equal, made it 1-1. So it was like, we needed to win the game. So it was like, quick, get the ball back. And then the second one, like, I could enjoy it a little bit more. It put us 2-1 up. And, the way the goal went as well, like, we started at the back. I think Henderson played it into Lallana, who put it on a plate, and then I hit it and it went in the top corner. That's probably the best moment in my career.
I'm not going to lie, Jack. When I used to watch you play, I didn't know you can strike the ball like that. I used to think your little curlers just pass it past the keeper. But when I saw you bang that, I was like, yeah.
You know what, though? To be fair, I am probably better at curling, but if you watch that goal again, like when Lallana flicked it, as I hit it, it just sort of sat up perfect. So it was almost like a half volley in it. I just lifted and went away from it.
You went top corner. Obviously, basically, we touched on most things in that. Best player you played against and best player you played alongside.
The easy option for me to say I played against is Messi, so I'm not going to say that, because everyone will say that. You know what? I played against Yaya Toure, I think, twice in that 2012 season, when he was unreal. He scored like 20 goals, got 10 assists. Mate, he was honestly, he was unreal. Like, you couldn't get near him when he used to drive through midfield. Like, you could not get the ball off him. So I'm going to say him. And the best player I played alongside, there's been so many, but the one I got to see, it was only for a year, and it was like week in, week out, and he helped me as well, was Fabregas. Like, he was the captain of the team, he was a leader. Like, people would think as well with Cesc, like, he would lead just on the pitch, like, with the way he played, but he did, yeah, don't get me wrong, but as well in the dressing room, he was a big voice. Like, whenever something needed to be said, he would say it. He was great with the young players, not just me, Ramsey, all the young players coming through. He was brilliant. He'd been there, he'd seen it, he'd done it, and he helped us a lot.
Yeah, big up Cesc as well. Now, obviously, everyone wants to know your best 11.
This is tough. Very tough. I wrote it down, so I was trying to. Yeah, I wrote it down because I wrote all the players I played with. It was so hard, man. Like, I feel so bad on some players. I played with some great players, but I'm gonna play a 4-4-2, but with a diamond, because I like playing that.
Cool.
So, and I've got so many like central midfielders that I could have picked. So I'm gonna go with Chesney in goal, because he's my boy. I lived with him for a year, and how well he's doing now. Like, even when he was at Arsenal, and be number 1 for Arsenal at such a young age, like, to have that sort of that temperament, to be able to handle that pressure. Like, he didn't care. He was that type of character who thought like he could do anything, so it didn't really bother him. But he was big that season.
No, when we nearly finished, I think we finished second. He was unreal that year. Right back, I'm gonna go. This was tight. This was between Walker and Sanya. I'm gonna go with Sanya.
Oh, big decision.
Yeah,
Big
he
decision.
was. Mate, he was solid, man. Like, you wouldn't get past him. He would tackle anything. Like, he would win every single header. And as well, like, I spent a lot of time with him. He was injured when I got my first injury. He was injured as well, and he came back and then did the same injury again. So we spent a lot of time together. And I got to know him a lot, and he was a great guy, man. Like, top man. And I remember actually as well, going back to when I was like 16 and I first sort of started getting around the first team. Made it in a few squads. I used to live in Barnet in Diggs, and he used to come pick me up and take me to like the stadium.
Yeah.
Which was like, it was unreal. Good lad, like top professional, done everything right. So I'm going with him right back. Centre half, I'm going JT. I only played with him a couple of times with England, but again, like, a leader, like someone who would just lead from the back. You could hear him all game. Like, as a midfielder, I was playing. I remember he was playing with maybe Stevie G, but he would be shouting at both of us, like screaming left, right, all game.
Yeah.
And again, another one who was brilliant with me as a young player. Like, he welcomed me in. He obviously had been there, done it, knew that I was nervous. Just going into the group, and he was really good at that. Alongside JT, I'm going with Koscielny. That was another tough one because I played with Rio as well. But I picked Koscielny because I remember the first year he came and then he made that mistake against Birmingham. He was getting hammered. And then to come back like the play he did, and he was unreal for a couple of seasons. Like, he was quick, he was strong, he could play out. He won every single header, and he wasn't the biggest either. He was very athletic, but he wasn't the biggest. So I'm going with him. Left back, I'm going to go with someone who Arsenal fans are going to hate me for, but I played with him, Ashley Cole. He was unreal.
Ashley Cole, you know.
Yeah, I played with him quite a lot actually for England. He played under Capello and then under Hodgson as well. I played with him. Technically, like a winger. He could have played midfield technically. And he was one of them as well. When I played for Arsenal, I hated playing against him. He would wind me up so much. Like, the whole game, he would be winding people up and just getting in people's heads. And then he would just come out on top. So, yeah, him, he'd get forward, score goals, create goals. Then in midfield, it was hard. I'm still like, I'm going to go with Stevie D holding. I'm going with him holding because I never played with him when he was at that point of his career, where he used to be like box to box.
Yeah.
I never played with him. When I played with him, he was getting older and he'd drop deeper. And like dictate the game from there. And then the two ahead of him, I'm going Cazorla and Cesc. Like, I think I speak for every Arsenal fan saying I would have loved to see them two play together. Like, they would have caused so many problems if them two played together. Similar players, really. I mean, both technical, both could use both feet, both could see a pass, create things. And another one from Arsenal who would have played well with Cesc, Ozil, will be ahead of him in the 10 role.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was something. And then I'm going two up top. Then this was probably my hardest decision. Well, one of them was easily Rooney. And then I played with, like, I didn't know who else to put with him. Like, I played with RVP. I played with Sanchez. I played with Aubameyang. I played with Lacazette. I played with Sturridge when he was on Flames. I played with Welbeck when he was on Flames for England. But I remember like playing week in, week out with him and thinking, you know, we need this guy. Like, we can rely on this guy today. He's going to win us a game. And that was RVP. So I went with him.
I thought you was gonna don't wait. I thought you was gonna kill man and say Sanchez. Don't get me wrong, Sanchez is a big player. I thought you was gonna say someone else instead of RVP. I was waiting for that. RVP, hey, that team is amazing.
Mate, that year when I first broke in, he scored like 30 goals. He was unbelievable. Like, technically, the best I've ever seen. Like, because he wasn't quick, but his movement was like, for a midfielder, he was a dream. Like, his movement, he was going behind, and his timing of his runs. Don't get me wrong, Sanchez came close.
Yeah.
Like, he done some unbelievable things as well. Like, especially in his first season. But I think RVP deserves it.
Yeah. That team there, you scared me, Jack. I thought you was gonna say someone else. When I heard you say Rooney, I was thinking, nah, there's only one person that is gonna say that can play up front with him. If you said anyone else, I would have been like this. No. Van Persie, that team there.
Yeah, RVP. I played with Aubameyang as well, but I didn't play with him long enough. I only played with him for like 6 months. And he was just, I mean, don't get me wrong, he started in the Prem on fire. But since I've left, he's got better and better. So maybe if I'd have stayed at Arsenal and played with him a bit longer, I would have went with him. But RVP, he was a captain as well. And when he left, I was devastated. Devastated.
And then he went to United, and his first season won the league with them.
Yeah, that hurt. Yeah, that hurt.
Nah, that's crazy. Hey, Jack, thank you for this little chat. Thank you for this little interview.
Pleasure, mate.
Hey, stay safe, take care. Like, get fit. I want you back playing, my bro.
Thanks, man. And you, take care, man.
Take care. Stay safe. Take care. Thanks, Jack.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Yo, yeah, there you have it. Jack the lad. Huh? There you have it, Jack the lad. Oh, he even scared me. I thought he was going to say someone else, but he really scared me. Hey, that one there. How could he say Rooney? I was waiting for him to say. If he would have said anyone else, I would have said, Jack, I'm going. But a man said Rooney and RVP. That team there, big team. Big team. Are you, man? Are you, man? Aribo, today we move. 10 p.m. You, man, Pindi, Rinse, Viv, everyone in the chat. Girl, I see you, big femmes. Listen, everyone, we move. Raymond, 10 p.m. Thank you for locking in. You get me? Take care, everyone. We move.